What's happening, everybody? Realizing that the music on the video feed is still extraordinarily loud. Fear not, we'll bring that down nice and low. Welcome to our second mock of the day. I have placed myself comfortably in the one hole in this mock, mostly because I just wanted to do a Jokic mock. There's so many ways you can go with that one. Do you go with the extraordinarily well-rounded build? Do you punt threes? Do you punt blocks? There's so many things you can do with Jokic. The mock is getting going in about a minute or so, and then I'll throw that up on the screen. I am Dan Besbris. This is Old Man Squad Fantasy Basketball. I want to show my appreciation for all of you guys for watching, liking, rating, subscribing, following on Twitter. Follow at Old Man Squad as well. And again, whatever you guys can do to continue to help grow this thing with me, I do very much appreciate it. You guys are enjoying the double mock day we got going on with this one. We did a mock out of the 6 hole, ended up with Anthony Davis earlier. So make sure to check that out over at the Old Man Squad YouTube page or on any place, I guess I should say, that podcasts can be found. There is the draft room. We'll throw it up on the board for YouTubers. Looks like the draft is starting in 2 minutes. My mistake. It seemed to run a minute or two late. I don't know why that happened, but maybe I wandered away and screwed something up. We still got a full house here. Briefly, I thought we had my good buddy Red Bauer in there. He tried to switch devices from his phone to his laptop, and it punted him. So that's disappointing. But we do appear to have humans at every spot. And it looks like Red spot may have been taken by one of our frequent flyers here. All I know is that all 12 people are in it. So good job, Twitter fans. You guys loaded up the mock. Those of you listening, watching, whatever, if you guys want to be in a future mock draft that we do here on this channel, you got to follow me on social. That's where I put the link out, and the first 11 people to click it were in the mock draft. That's how I'm going to do most of them, because I kind of like to do them on a whim, just flying. We're cooking, man. We're going. I haven't decided, by the way, which way we're going to go with this one. Am I going to go Jokic and then build out everything? Because there's just so many awesome ways you can build a Jokic team. You can also look at his very small but not non-zero deficiencies. He's a big man who doesn't block that many shots. He hits only about 1 3-ball per game. But again, you don't need a ton of threes out of your center. You can obviously get more in the first round. Wemby's going to hit more as a center. Embiid, if he's upright, would hit more. He might not be upright, though. AD would hit less, or fewer, I guess is the word. Sabonis less. So there's ways to come back from a Jokic team at the 3-point spot. It's easier to come back from a Jokic 3-point deficiency than it is a Shea, because you've already got a guard that's not hitting 3-pointers. That's a big difference. It's why the punt boards are a little bit misleading. I'm going to type some of those up over on social media soon. But yeah, anyway, we are off and running here, and I'm going to take Jokic and just get the party going quickly so I can talk about what everybody else is doing. There's the draft board. We'll zoom in a little bit. No big surprises early. Next couple picks, and let's see, I got to shrink some things down so people can see. Wemby 2, Shea 3, interestingly in this one. Shea before Luka Doncic in a head-to-head league. Giannis goes 5 for the second mock in a row. Looks like we lost our 11th team. Nope, there he's back. Anthony Davis 6, Jason Tatum, an interesting call at 7 with that limited per-game appeal, but typically healthy. That's the direction this team is going. And another nice thing about hosting a mock draft where you're on one of the turns is that you can, what I'm doing now, talk about it. Talk about the draft for a while in between your turns. Let me make my own head smaller. That'll make the screen bigger for the folks that are watching. And these are probably more fun if you're watching as opposed to listening, but it is going to get released on all channels as well. So again, please do like, rate, and subscribe. Halliburton goes 8th. Joel Embiid goes 9th. That's where we've seen Embiid going pretty regularly. Typically after Halliburton. Kevin Durant and Anthony Edwards going 10 and 11. Trae Young on the turn. Not surprising. The fact that Trae Young went late in our earlier mock was surprising. I thought he would go 12 at the absolute latest because he's tailor-made for head-to-head builds. Outstanding at scoring. He'll be good at threes, great in assists, great in free throws. He gives you those big elite starts and ultra weak in rebounding, field goal percent, obviously blocked shots, turnovers. And then you can choose either do you want to lean into it or do you want to cover it up. So this team covers it up. They go Trae and Domantas Sabonis early. Could be a punt blocks team. That club now suddenly is very average in both percentages. Very good in assists, average in scoring, average in rebounding, not much in the defensive stats. Kyrie Irving, second pick of the second round. That's surprising. Steph falls all the way to 15. That was, I don't know, in my mind, a little bit of an oversight. A Steph-Kevin Durant pairing is a very good Roto start. For head-to-head, there's going to have to be some decision-making there. Good scoring, good threes, rebounds, meh. Assists are meh, fine. Assists are fine. Steals are not great. Blocks are okay. Field goal, free throw, probably pretty good for that team. Joel Embiid pairs it up with Scotty Barnes, or the manager there goes Joel and Scotty Barnes. Interesting pair. Chad Holmgren with Halliburton. That'd be fine. Jason Tatum guy gets Donovan Mitchell at pick 18. That's a really nice one. That team has a few interesting directions they could go. We're starting to get closer to me again, so I'm going to flip it back to the actual player board so we can see who's still floating around. I do like to see who was drafted. This is the Giannis team. No, sorry. We're one before the Giannis team. This is Anthony Davis goes with Jalen Brunson. So a big, small pair there. What is Team Giannis going to do? What's the punt free throw du jour? LeBron, not surprisingly. Devin Booker falls all the way to 21. That's a freaking layup at 21. That went along with Luka. It's a strong start. Shea, who's going to be the Shea pairing? Either a guy who gets a ton of threes or a guy who gets none. Those are the two directions you can go here. Bam Adebayo, so a guy who gets none. That punt threes team coming in hot. All right, we got a few options here. You guys know I'm looking at Dame and Harden, hoping that one of those two guys. Oh, actually, we're there. One of those two guys will make it to me. So whichever of Dame and Harden is left, we got Lillard. He's my favorite player at 24. But I am going to have two picks in a row, so probably wise to just throw him in the queue and then kind of look things over. I have some choices here. I can go a safe pick like a Paul George. I can reach a bit for a Freddie Van Vliet. I can go all the way down to board. Where the hell's Kawhi at? Did he vanish? There's Kawhi. He's all the way down at 45. He ain't going to make it back to me. So there's Dame off the board. Do I go Kawhi and go mega upside here and just build out the strongest per game? I mean, there's a chance that I could end up with three guys that are in the first round. I think I have no choice. I got to go Kawhi. I know it's crazy when you've got these other guys that are probably going to play more ball games. And in head-to-head, you don't want missed games. But you know what? My first two guys are super durable. This is my shot. Kawhi plays 65 games. This team is an absolute freaking steamrolling juggernaut because Kawhi's going to be a top 5 per game dude. Jokic is going to be a top 2 probably per game dude. Maybe 3, depending on how you value Embiid. And then Dame, I think, is a top 15, 20 guy at the absolute worst. I mean, that is an unbelievable start. But here's the thing. I didn't really think much about build when I got these guys. This was me just grabbing dudes that I think are going to be terrific values. LaMelo, by the way, goes right after Kawhi. What is my team good at now? So Dame made up the Jokic three-point issue, but brought the field goal percent back down to sort of average. Kawhi is going to be a positive there. Free throws are excellent for this team. Scoring is solid, actually. Jokic is not a great scoring dude, but Dame is going to put up okay numbers. Kawhi is going to put up pretty good numbers, so scoring is fine. Rebounds are decent. Assists are decent. Steals are solid. Blocks are not great. Field goal percent is pretty good. Turnovers are not all that high. So I got to figure out where I want to go as DeJounte Murray goes at 27. Do I want to shore up the big man stuff and take another big that doesn't block shots and sort of knock that out of the way? Or do I need to shore up some of the stuff that is more borderline? Like, do I want to make sure that my scoring is strong? Paul George at 28, De'Aaron Fox 29, Jaren Jackson Jr. at 30, by the way, and Freddie VanVleet, love him, at 31. So, I mean, we can look at some of the players left on the board. Like, thinking about guys that might make it back to me in the mid to late 40s, Miles Turner, what if he's still around? Well, if I'm punting blocks, I'm not all that interested in him. Evan Mobley, another guy who loses a lot of his value if I really am not super concerned with the blocks team. What about Jimmy Butler? What if he made it back to me at the end of the fourth? Well, that's a big risk to take on top of Kawhi Leonard. I don't need the 3-pointers, but I do seem to be more competitive in them now. And therein lies the rub. If you have a Jokic team, it's hard to just not attack something. So I think I'm likely, when it gets back around to me, as Maxey goes 32. It's a pretty good spot for him. Mobley early at 33. Markkanen, risky pick, but a good one at 34. I'm probably just going to take the guy I like the most, whoever the hell that might be. And right now, it's not even really worth looking at the board because we're freaking 12 picks away. Cat goes 35. Here, let's take a look at the board again. If you're playing along with us, you can see what everybody's done here. The punt team went De'Aaron Fox in the third. That's a really nice get for them. The other teams, there's no super obvious punt. Victor, the Wemby team may be punting field goal percent, going Harden and LaMelo Ball. That's a very good guard combo behind Wemby. I like that one a lot. Third team heavy on the steals. Doncic, Booker, Paul George. I mean, there's a lot to like here. There aren't really any teams that I think have totally biffed it at this point. The Embiid, Barnes, Mobley team is a little scary to me, depending on how that one shakes out. We're still rumbling along. Jalen Johnson finishes up the third round. Desmond Bane begins the fourth. And then Boncaro at 38. That's a spicy play. That team's one that I'm not super into. Anthony Edwards in the first, Kyrie early second, Cat in the third. Yeah, I don't like that team that much. Jalen Williams goes at 39. Solid value play there for that fairly well-rounded team. Lacking in rebounds, that team. Mikal Bridges. Wow, that's early. At 40. I'd size this team up. Franz Wagner at 41. Fine, but early in my eyes. Halliburton, Holmgren. This team's very weak on bigs at the moment. Rudy Gobert, Miles Turner, a little big man double spurt here. Gobert joins a team of Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, and Freddie VanVleet. So this is a team that's trying to kind of level things off a little bit, get back in the mix. This, by the way, is where you should every once in a while check what the standings are. What does this think you're going to do? The projections are whack. And then, of course, you're halfway through the round. So if you haven't made your pick yet, you're going to get bumped pretty low to the bottom. It's best to check the standings right at the end of a round. Jared Allen, by the way, at 44. Alperen Sengun at 45. That's 4 centers in a row. My turn is now coming up. And so it's time for me to just look and see, who do I like? Jamal Murray's a little too scary off the Kawhi Leonard pick. Cade is interesting, although, the turnover advantage I've built probably evaporates, but I do kind of like the assists that are in the mix there. Jimmy Butler, too injury prone. Porzingis is a mess. Jaylen Brown went off the board, I think I mentioned. Vooch, I don't want. Jalen Duren actually fits the build relatively well as a low blocks big man who helps percentages, but I think that's the direction I probably go in Roto. You're getting into some guys that, at 48, I'm just going to have to reach, because there goes Derek White. He was someone that I would have been looking at. I think I'm probably going to go Cade. My turnovers, Jokic has some. Dame and Kawhi were not particularly high. So I think it's going to be Cade. And it might be Emmanuel Quickly as the other one. He's an interesting kind of upside play. I could also go DeMar DeRozan, although, again, I'm trying in 3-pointers now. I haven't completely abandoned ship on that. Maybe I could have. Maybe it's too late. So there's Cunningham. He's on my team. This next pick is... honestly, I really don't know. In a lot of circumstances, I would have gone Jimmy Butler, because per game, he's going to blow this out of the water. But head-to-head, that's such a huge headache. I might have to do it, though. He's just so good per game. No one on this board is even going to come close to him. Oh, I'm going to regret this one. I did the Kawhi thing thinking I wasn't going to get Butler, and now I got Butler. Well, we're going to pray for about 64, 65 games. Jimmy is officially on the team. I am a little bit upset about this one. But if you look at the standings, I am smashing everyone. Smashing. And it's not close. Now, some of that's because I have one more pick in this round, so I shouldn't get too far into it. I would like it to be average and not totals. Yeah, the problem is that it is including Jimmy Butler there. If you take Butler out, I'm still basically at the top of the heap, but, not by quite as much. But what Jimmy did that was nice is shored up. I got more scoring again. I got rebounds out of a guard type, which you also get from Cade and Kawhi, wingy players. I probably need another big-time rebounder in addition to Jokic, so that's going to be coming up here soon. But Dame is my only guy that's really doing significant damage to field goal percent. Kawhi's a positive. Cade is a small negative. Butler's a neutral. And Jokic is one of the biggest positives in the NBA. So I'm one decent big away from smashing in field goal percent. Like the fact that my team is mid-pack with 4 guards/wings and 1 center, I think is a really good spot to be in. I'm also running away with field goal percent at the moment. Other teams starting to make picks now. Jamal Murray went right after me at 50. Jalen Duren at 51. Miles Bridges at 52. I think he's going too early. People are just taking him remembering what damage he did last year. I'm going to pick my words more carefully. I just don't think he's that good this season. Nick Claxton goes 53. It's too early for him in my book. Three-pointers could use some help for my team now with Jimmy Butler dragging that number down. But assists are pretty damn good. Maybe the best, possibly, depending on how the Trae Young and Tyrese Halliburton teams finish off this round. Steals are excellent. Jokic is a good steals guy. Butler's a good steals guy. Kawhi's a good steals guy. Cade's a good steals guy. I'm not in any fear there. My blocks are a train wreck. So we're fully into punt block. Whatever big I get is going to be a big that specifically has his value without blocking shots. There goes Porzingis. I don't see anybody listed as an auto pick, so somebody did it. Oopsies. Did that team not know that Porzingis is out until the end of time? Pascal Siakam at 55. So the punt free throw team added Nick Claxton. That one makes sense, but it also means that they probably went a little too heavy because of Jared Allen in the round before. Now the advantage they had in scoring is kind of drying up a little bit. Emmanuel Quickley at 56. I like that pick. That's about where he should be going. He's been going earlier in drafts. The fact that he fell to a reasonable spot, I'm good with. Vooch at 57. Safe. Tobias at 58. He's not getting anywhere near that 80-some-odd pre-rank. Everybody's going down the board to get themselves some sweet, sweet Toby. I love me some Tobias Harris. But he is not falling as far as we thought he might. Well. Zion at 59. That would have been a nice pick for the punt team because you're going to want to get some. Well, they got their assists with Giannis, LeBron, and Fox, but it's going to dry up soon. DeRozan at 60. Nice, safe play there. Again, this is the Trae Young team. If we look at standings now, my team is still kind of boat racing everyone. And that's the end of the round. So this is everybody's got 5 picks. And I know you can't base everything on standings, but it's at least a look at it. Now everybody's going to start to catch up with me because they'll be, one round ahead. But I'm in a great spot. And the standings were somewhat illustrate where I have these advantages and where I have disadvantages. Blocks are terrible. Threes were sort of below mid-pack. Do I want to punt both? Probably not. Steals are good. Turnovers are actually not bad, believe it or not, considering how solid an assists my team is. Rebounds could use some help. Mostly because I've gone heavy on guards and wings after Jokic. So rebounds, blocks, and threes is a weird combination to want to look at. Jonas Valanciunas goes 62. DeAndre Ayton at 63. That is strikingly early on my guy, JV, who might play 25 minutes a game and get traded in 3 months. Ballsy. I love JV, but I ain't taking him in the 60s. Hell no. Darius Garland at 64. That's your last bastion of assists, although it comes with an anchor weight in the turnover department. Devin Vassell at 65, as I once again remind all of you, please hit that like button as we're cruising through here. Make sure you're subscribing. And if you're listening on Apple, Spotify, hit that 5-star review. We need you. We need you now more than ever. And follow me on Twitter at Dan Vespers. Follow at Old Man Squad. Keegan Murray at 66. That's a spicy play, too. I loved the start for that team. Well, actually, that's not true. I like Donovan Mitchell mid-second and Freddie VanVleet mid-third. I haven't been a big fan of Tatum, Gobert, Siakam, and Murray where they're gone. It's time for me to flip back over to the player board. We're in this window where I absolutely loathe the players that generally go in this range. There goes Zach LaVine at 67. If I wanted to go big man, Mark Williams would be someone I would look at because his free throw percent is relatively solid. But the blocks are decent, so I don't know that I need to necessarily spend any capital there. Brandon Ingram is honestly weirdly useful for this build, but it's more across the board stuff. 72, he's fine. There goes Julius Randle at 69. Again, we were talking about needing threes, rebounds, blocks. The combination is going to be very hard to locate. And blocks, I think, are mostly out of the question. So I'm likely to wait on any additional centers. There goes Ingram and there goes Mark Williams. Those are the two guys that I was looking at here. So I got to readjust on the fly. Looking down the board a little bit, do we want to do some reaching here? Beal would be another across-the-board guy. That makes a lot of sense. Do we think that guys like Zubats and Hartenstein will make it back to me? I better get somebody in my queue or I'm going to wear it here. We'll go McCollum. And that takes care of our threes deficiency. If you look at the standings, I'm still kicking the crap out of everybody. I need a big, and there aren't any anywhere near me right now. I don't want Nurk. I don't want him. He doesn't provide what I'm looking for. So I'm going to hold out on the big and hope that they get back to me because there are some later. Meaning instead, I got to do something fast here. I'll probably go Beal and just do another wingy player. My team is just wing central at the moment. So we'll go Bradley Beal. Everybody thinks that he's a massive risk. I think he's a medium risk. And frankly, maybe it's a little bit too much risk, but whatever. So I went wings. Good idea, bad idea, hard to say, but it did shore up some of what my issues were. Beal is going to be close to 2 3-pointers a game. McCollum was close to 3. Rebounds are still troubling. Points are good. Steals are very good. Turnovers got a little uglier there, although the hell? This thing's projecting Beal to have like 3.5 turnovers a game. Sorry, Yahoo. You might be getting a little bit out over your skis. So there goes Hartenstein very early. He ain't making it back. Austin Reeves to follow. I'm in an interesting spot because my team very clearly has one massive need right now, and it is a big man who can lift my field goal percent and my rebounds, and then anything else is kind of gravy. So let's take a look down the board. What guys would do that for me? The centers they're a long way out. That run that went earlier really wiped a lot of them off the board. Nurk is still there. I mean, if he's there in the mid-90s, I would obviously take him. Austin Reeves at 75. Josh Giddey goes 76. Ja Morant at 77. That's a pretty good spot for Ja. I definitely would have taken him if he came back around the next time. Anthony Simons at 78. Bogdan Bogdanovic at 79. Jabari Smith Jr. is not really the kind of center I'm looking for. He's center eligible, but 8 rebounds and bad field goal percent doesn't get it done. Brook Lopez is all blocks, which I've given up on at this point. Nurk, frankly, makes more sense there. I mean, my team is monster at the free throw line right now. Capella, I don't want. Naz Reid, not a good percentages guy. I mean, Draymond Green, not a percentages center. He does the Jokic stuff, but to a lesser extent. If it gets back around to me, as Cam Thomas goes at 80, it's likely going to be Ivica Zubac, whose rebounds, field goal percent without ruining my free throw number, because my team's free throw is running away with first place right now. I guess that means I do have a little bit of area for play on that. And Pirtle, as Drew Holiday goes at 81 and Anunoby at 82. And Pirtle obviously is going to be your better steals guy among those centers in that general area. Zubac gets pretty much none. They both rebound somewhere. I think Zubac is going to be around 10 rebounds a game this year. Pirtle, probably similar scoring, worse free throws. I'd rather have Zoo there because I don't think I need the steals. I think my team is trucking in steals right now. And I mean, looking at the standings page, which again doesn't tell the whole story, but like my team is basically tied for first in their projections in it. And there aren't a whole lot of things that's going to bring that down too fast. Brandon Miller finishes off the 7th round. That's pick 84 after Tyler Hero went at 83. We're now into the 8th round. We are more than halfway done. Flying through this one, a Jokic build. That's a fun one. I love a Jokic build because, again, you can do anything. Jokic build in Roto is frankly, kind of cheating. It's kind of cheating. That's okay. Brooke Lopez, Jordan Poole, Brooke Lopez, Chris Paul. First 3 picks came off quickly here in the front end of the 8th round. I don't think I'm going Chris Paul until after 100. Trey Murphy, the 3rd at 88. Luckily, none of these players really are the ones that I badly need. I got to have a center. Provided I get one of those, well, then my other stuff is still kind of in good shape. Scoring's pretty good. Rebounds need a boost. Assists are solid. Steals are great. Turnovers are acceptable. Free throws, great. Field goal, once it gets a bump, is going to be in really, really good shape. Jabari Smith Jr. and Herb Jones go at 89 and 90. Inching towards me, and my targets are still out there. Somehow Nurk is still there. I really don't want him. Jalen Suggs at 91. I'd rather have Zubac because I need the field goal percent more than Nurkic and his 4 assists. It is interesting that he hasn't been drafted yet, though. This is a very reasonable spot for Nurk, who's probably going to be an 80 to 95, 100 range type of center. So let's say I do get one of the centers I want. What do I do with my other pick? That one's still kind of floating around right now. Jonathan Kuminga is interesting for counting stats. Not going to do a lot of other stuff. There goes Zubac at 92. That's a pisser. Clint Capella at 93. Now I really need Pirtle to make it to me. That one burned me a bit. Brandon, longtime Dan follower, killing me. Kuzma goes at 94. I'm just sitting here holding my breath that Pirtle makes it to me because I don't think I want the rest of these centers on the board. Daniel Gafford is a blocks guy. I need the centers that are going to give me rebounds. I need Pirtle's rebounds. I'm very sad that I didn't get Zubac. That was the one that really would have tied the room together. He was the rug that would have tied the room together. I will. I mean, so Draymond goes at 95. That means that basically now I'm choosing between Jakob Pirtle and Yusuf Nurkic. Pirtle is the bigger field goal percent bump. Nurk is the bigger rebounding bump. Which one is more important to my team right now? I probably need the field goal percent bump more because those guys are drying up a little bit. So I'm going to go Pirtle. I'm going to leave Nurk on the board. And now the other pick here is a big question mark because my free throw just took a hit. My field goal percent got a nice little kick in the pants. That's back up near the top of the board. But now I don't really know what I want to do. My team's in great shape. I'm likely looking at a guy that I just like here, which Nurk, no. Rozier, Kobe White, not that interested. Kuminga is fine. I'm running out of time. I really should have done this earlier. Let's go Kuminga. Did it work? Yeah, I got him in there at the last moment. I think Kuminga's going to be fine. I'm not super excited about what he's going to be for this coming year. I think he's going to score, which is relevant after I took Pirtle, so I got to make sure that I don't lose what is a pretty good scoring team. My team is in nice shape on that front. But I did sacrifice. Pirtle got enough steals out of the center spot where I was able to go with Kuminga, who's a low steals guy. I'm still right near the bottom in blocks. But I didn't get many 3-pointers on that pivot. So that's an area where I think I need to be a little bit more careful. And frankly, I probably should have taken someone who knocks down some threes. Rozier would not have been the worst idea on earth. Tyus Jones goes at 98, then Naz Reid and Yusuf Nurkic is finally number 100, which, I mean, that's totally fine there. Probably should have gone Rozier. Kind of got caught in a little bit of a panic mode. Now we can go wherever the hell we want. Doesn't matter who Yahoo has near the top of the board. They had a few guys left that were up higher because they're expected to play more, like a Rozier, who went at 102. Caruso goes at 101. But I don't want Kobe White. He's not at all what my team needs. I don't want Keontae George. Mitchell Robinson would put an irreparable hole in my team's free throw percent. There goes Onyeka Okongwu. He would have been an okay choice, but I wanted the rebounds from Pirtle. That was important to me. And I think Kuminga's going to get 7-ish, 6, maybe 6 rebounds a game this season, I think is within reach for him. So kind of average numbers there. The damage I did to my free throw on that swing, I don't know if I'm going to be able to make up for it, as Gafford goes 105, Middleton 106, Edey 107. They're coming off quick now. But as I look at the board, you can start to spot some guys. John Collins is a worthwhile value. This is where you really want to start loading up your queue. Ayo Dosunmu is someone I would take. Probably not in my next pivot, but will be the one after that if he makes it that far. Schroeder, I don't want that all points and assists nonsense. My team's assists are fine. I don't think that it needs more of those. And honestly, a lot of the guys on the board right now look just kind of ugly. I don't know if you guys watching can actually see the names, which apologies. I got to make sure we work our way through this thing. Trace Jackson Davis is intriguing, but again, I'm just thinking about what would make sense with this roster. We can always scroll back up to those guys. Let's mark off some of the guys as we move down the board. Norman Powell, mostly points. But again, I do need 3-pointers, and he gets them some without ruining percentages. So we'll throw Norman Powell on the list. Colin Sexton is definitely going on the list. He'll be solid enough. KCP is not really what my team is looking for. He doesn't hit as many threes as it feels like he hits. We can, by the way, Aaron Gordon, Keontae George went 108, then Aaron Gordon, 109. Kobe White, 110. Marcus Smart, 11. RJ Barrett at 112. 113 is Derek Lively, the second, then John Collins and Mitchell Robinson. And it's starting to get closer to me again, so I should probably get my thumb out of my butt. We'll put KCP on the list just because we kind of work our way through this thing slowly. I don't want to overlook anybody obvious. What do we got? Al Horford, he'll be someone we look at. Walker Kessler, then Colin Sexton. So there goes another one of the names that I was eyeballing. Gary Trent will be on our list of Q guys. Jeremy Grant is on the Q guys. PJ Washington. Brogdon would be the last one, basically. What do we? I'm sure I'm overlooking a few guys here as I try to scroll and watch and scroll and watch. There goes Malik Monk. And there goes Dosunmu. So I'm going to throw Dyson Daniels in my queue as well. That's enough names to pick one from right now. It's getting to the point where it's sort of figuring out who might actually make it back to me, who has the upside from among these dudes. And there's not a ton, but I think Dyson Daniels is one that I'd like to make sure I have just in case he pops off. So we'll go Dyson with one of them. And the other one, PJ Washington has some interesting appeal if his percentages improve. Gary Trent is more, I think, of a plotting type. Horford is that, really nice play for the first half of the season. I think I'd like to make sure we lock in his really nice value for the first 30 some odd games. And then we'll see which of these other guys makes it back around. The system really likes my picks for whatever that's worth. Let's try zooming in again here. We're getting towards the end of it. This is round 11 now. Just 3 rounds to go. KCP goes right after me at 122. The problem, of course, is that it takes 10 minutes for the whole draft board to actually appear, and I'm not going to sit 10 minutes after the podcast is over to show you guys the entire draft board. I will, however, take a screenshot of it and carry that over to the socials. So make sure to follow at Dan Vespris. You guys know the drill. So I'll be posting over there things about this draft, right? You want to hear more about it? We'll do more about it over there. Like, rate, and subscribe. This ship is growing, man. Klay Thompson at 123. Denny Avdia at 124. Norman Powell at 125. So a few of the names that we were looking at slipping away. Okay. Just making sure that everything is running properly, and it does appear to be. Cam Johnson and DeAnthony Melton, 126, 127. I'm not super concerned with the order of guys at this point. There's one dude that keeps coming and going. I mean, maybe he's turned himself onto auto and then popping loose when his turn is coming up. I'm doing it at work and like trying not to get any alerts or something. Trace Jackson Davis at 128. I still have, what do we have? 4 names in the queue. We're going to probably need to punch that up a little bit. I think Dyson Daniels is going to end up being an interesting one at this range. Who's still out there at the moment? There goes Jaime Jaquez Jr. I don't want Olynyk. I don't want Portis. I don't want Ware or Sharp or DiVincenzo or Neesmith. I don't want Schroeder or Drummond. I don't want Nemhard. I don't want Grayson Allen this year. He was great, but just getting squeezed out by actual depth. I don't want Nick Richards. I don't think I want Bojan Bogdanovic. Yeah, he needs a ton of shots to do anything at all. I don't want Castle or Carter Jr. I don't want Jalen Green, Jordan Clarkson, Marvin Bagley. These guys all stink. Bilal Coulibaly. He might be okay as the year goes on, but I'll pass. Keldon Johnson, Amen Thompson. Pajemski, by the way, went 130. Oh, crap. DeAndre Hunter, Grant Williams, Kyle Lowry, Vince Williams, Benedict Mathurin. All right, we got an auto drafter now. That's annoying, but we're pretty deep into this thing, so I don't think it's going to change the results all that much. Tim Hardaway, Bruce Brown, Buddy. This is clunker central. There goes Ware. Asar Thompson, Achua, Ivy, Struce, Beasley, Okoro, Sohan, Oubre, Andrew Wiggins can go on our board. Zach Collins, Cole Anthony, Josh Hart, Lou Dort, Sadiq Bey. He's out for half the damn season or more. Kispert, Royce O'Neal, Cam Whitmore, Gary Trent. He's already on our list. There goes Schroeder. Beef Stew, Isaiah Stewart, Santi Aldama, Duop Reith, Jeremy Grant. Jaden McDaniels is someone I would take if this was a 14-teamer. I just wanted someone who was going to plod along at like 115. Trey Mann, no. Dylan Brooks, no. Herder, no. Harrison Barnes, nah. PJ Washington, sure, I'll take a shot on him. Finney Smith, no. Brogdon, play him for a month until he's hurt. Terrence Mann, Jabari Walker. And this is I'm just reading the list at this point. There goes Bobby Portis at 134. Pick it up here, guys. Let's make your cues. If I can do this faster than you can, and I'm also podcasting about it, what does that say about you? We're slowly working down the board. Scoot, as soon as I'm doing a team that's punting field goal or turnovers, I'm ending up with Scoot. I think he's going to be a great late round grab. in those punt formats. Drummond goes 135. Still haven't seen anybody of any real interest. Ben Simmons can go on our list because he's a what if? What if the stars collide? Jeremy Grant goes 136. So Josh Hart 137. There's a chance we might get one or two of our guys here. Slowly working my way through. I don't think we've seen. There goes Tari Eason at 138. I don't think I've seen a rookie go off yet. Have we? Have we seen a rookie? Oh, Edey. Edey went. Click, click, click goes Dan's mouth as he slowly rolls down the board. I know there's someone else. Jalen Smith is a fun one, just highlighting him because cool. Trey Jones goes off the board at 139 after Eason. There goes PJ. I mean, Brandon, you got it. You're not invited into any more of these things. I can't draft against somebody drafting off my board. That's not an accurate way to draft. Get out of here, scumbag. We're getting towards the end of it. I'm missing someone. There goes Grayson Allen at 141. Jalen Green at 142. Did someone draft Sarr? Nobody's drafted Alex Sarr yet. Who wants to get wild with it? There goes Brogdon. All right, so my queue is Gary Trent Jr., Andrew Wiggins, Ben Simmons, Jalen Smith, and Alex Sarr. Smith is going to start the season coming off the bench. Trent is likely to be the Malik Beasley, so I think he'll probably end up on my team as not a massive upside guy, but a higher floor, and that's useful in head-to-head because you can just, plug him in there and go. The other one, we got to shoot the moon a little bit, and I feel like it's got to be Alex Sarr, even if he's going to be so bad. Simmons is dead. Wiggins' brain is broken for 2 years. Jalen Smith is awesome, but he's going to be behind Vooch. So let's take a rookie. Why the hell not? And that's my draft. That's my team now. I'm going to shrink some of these windows. Whoops. Hey, look at that. I could have taken it out the whole time after all. Too late. Shrink the queue. Shrink the updates. There's Dan's team over on the right. How big can I make this where you guys can still see it? There we go. All right, so you can see my whole team on the right there as the rest of the draft plays itself out. Damian Lillard, Kawhi Leonard, Cade Cunningham, Jimmy Butler, Jonathan Kuminga, Al Horford, Nikola Jokic, Jakob Poeltl, CJ McCollum, Bradley Beal, Dyson Daniels, Gary Trent Jr., and Alex Sarr. I have a team that, ladies and gentlemen, is like pretty decent, actually. Not across the board, but I have 13 starters. Which is, I know, like, one of the things towards the end of head-to-head drafts is that you want to fly at the end. You want to get somebody who can make your team fly. But also, if you want to get off to a quick start in head-to-head, you want to have 13 guys that you trust to roll out there. And, Alex Sarr is not really, so that's iffy. He's kind of the one that I'm squatting on a little bit. But I don't think there's any way for me to shrink this window any further, is there? No, I can get rid of an advertisement, but I can't shrink anything. There's just a few picks left. After my Sarr, by the way, went Peyton Watson, Dante DiVincenzo, Shaden Sharp. There goes Scoot, Keldon Johnson, Buddy Hield, and Taylor Hendricks. Kind of a fun upside play there. If Hield starts, he'd be an upside play. Scoot is an upside guy. If you're punting, that's a punt free throw team. Doesn't really fit there. But that team's probably so good at field goal percent that it doesn't matter. I may have built a team that's too well-rounded, honestly. The system doesn't know what to do with my team now because once you get to the last few picks, the system has no idea what your team's going to do. Like, they don't know what to do. Like, there's a reason that Yahoo had Dyson Daniels at like 250 and Alex Sarr at like 350. If you take guys from down there, the projection engine is going to treat you unfavorably. But there's a reason that after Jonathan Kuminga, I was up by like 9 points on everybody else in their rankings. And that's a Roto rank, but it translates to some degree on the head-to-head side. What doesn't is the overall, what is your team going to perform? Because it's assuming that I'm actually going to play Horford all year and Trent all year and Sarr all year. And there's just no guarantee that that's a thing I'm going to do. So that's a draft. It's going to take 11 minutes for the whole board to actually show up on the screen. Unfortunately, I can't make it bigger than what it is right now. But I will talk about my own team, which let's go to. There's my team. I wish it. I want to take it in the order that I drafted them. Blech. All right, we'll just do it this way. So the order I drafted my team: Nikola Jokic, Damian Lillard at 24, Kawhi 25, Cade at 48, Butler 49, McCollum 72. Oops, it jumped all the way to the bottom on me. Beal 73, Pirtle 96, Kuminga 97, Dyson Daniels 120, Horford 121, Trent 144, and Alex Sarr 145. You guys heard as I was talking through it. I don't know why Yahoo won't let me scroll up at all. It just keeps bouncing to the bottom. Please stop, Yahoo. Draft is complete. Let me do what I want to do. The last few picks doesn't really matter. Like Jonathan Kuminga was unwise. Dyson Daniels, I'm just hunting some boards, some assists, some steals out of that spot. Horford, you're looking for across the board with low turnovers. Trent was to shore up threes a little bit. And Alex Sarr is the who knows, like, what if things turn out? And he's not a bad foul shooter, so he's not going to kill my team in any particular spot. And that's why I figure as rookies go, he's not a horrible shot to take in the dark. But what I do think with this team is my team is horrible in blocks. I think even the projection engine knows that. Am I dead last? No, they say I'm third from the bottom. I beg to differ. I think I'm all the way at the bottom on that one. Turnovers, I'm third best, which is pretty amazing because my team, well, it's mid-pack and assists now, but a lot of that is because of those last few picks where I didn't have any. But my team is actually quite good in assists and also very good in turnovers. Rebounds are fine. I probably am going to need. Actually, this thinks I'm dead last in rebounds. But again, that's because of what I did at the very end. Daniels, Trent, these guys don't. There's almost no expectation that these guys are going to put up a bunch of boards. But Jokic and Pirtle and Kuminga. What does this think Horford's going to do? I don't know. 6? I think 6 rebounds a game. That's where it's got him at. Okay. So anyway, don't trust the projections engine. I don't have a ton of centers on my team, but I have Jokic who's going to be in double digits. I have Pirtle who's going to be very close to double digits. I'm not that worried about it. He and Jokic are the only centers listed, but I'm going to get a decent number out of Kuminga, and I've got all these, like Jimmy Butler is a good rebounding guard. So is Cade. Kawhi is going to get a few. Even Dame is not that not good, but actually with Giannis around, he won't get very many. So I ain't beating anybody in rebound. I'm not beating teams that are punting things in rebounds, but it's not as bad as it looks. Points, this thing thinks I'm mid-pack as well. Like, if the standings are out of control. Threes, I am mid-pack. That's one that it actually probably got right. But again, it thinks I'm better than I am because of the Gary Trent stuff at the very end. So again, the standings don't really know what to do with my team. My team is weak in blocks. There's no question about that. I have no one on my team that blocks shots other than Jakob Poeltl, who's going to be at like 1.2. No one else on my team is going to average over 1. Maybe you get over 1 out of Horford until Porzingis comes back, but I don't care. Maybe you get 1 out of Sarr, but again, I don't care. I think it's a pretty well-rounded team. I think the team is bad in blocks, and that's the beauty of Nikola Jokic. There is nothing more fun to me than making a Roto Jokic team, and at some point we'll do that. But I thought we could do a little head-to-head Jokic here just to see what it looked like. Next time we do a one-hole draft, I'll take Wemby just because I think it'll be fun. I haven't done it yet. We can screw around with that one together. Okay, that's it. Let's make my face a little bit bigger. Oh, God, I immediately regretted that decision. I'm at Dan Vespers over on social, at Old Man Squad. That one will follow you back. All of my episodes will drop there. Make sure you're following that one. Make sure to like, rate, and subscribe on the way out. That's it. 3 shows today is enough. Tomorrow, Friday, on the pod, Dan Palio in the morning. We'll be doing our Sleepers show on the current Yahoo board in the afternoon. Weekend, we'll probably knock out 2 of our remaining 5 team previews. And hell, maybe we'll do another mock in there because they're fun. That's it for now. I'll see you guys soon. I'm Dan, Old Man Squad, Fantasy Basketball. I'm out.